Hello and welcome to the WNYG podcast. I'm Caleb. I'm the high school director here at St. Andrew, and I got some of people on our leadership team here to introduce themselves.
I'm Lily.
I'm Logan.
And I'm Kate.
Yeah, and so this is our first podcast. We're getting things started, and kind of before we talk about any faith topics or anything like that, why don't you tell people kind of what activities you do at school right now, and what's your favorite part about the fall or spooky season, as I know the kids call it.
Oh.
You want to go? Yeah.
I can go first. I'm Kate. I do speech and marching band through my school. And my favorite part about spooky season is definitely like the crisp fall air in the mornings, and then the changing leaves. It's my favorite. And iced pumpkin cream chai from Starbucks.
Sorry,
that was really aggressive. Yes.
Good shout out. That's a good shout out to Starbucks. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Logan. I do DECA. I do basketball. And I think the best part about fall has to be cold apple cider and football.
Oh,
No other answers.
that's fair.
Cider is kind of a hot take. I have to say. My hot take is I hate any apple cider. Really? Yes. I'm sorry. It's like spicy apple juice. It's so gross. But it's good. I like moderation. I can do a cup, a small cup, but it has to be warm.
I could just take a gallon of it.
No.
I'm addicted. Oh, that's funny.
Anyway. I mean, I'm not really involved in much at the high school, I guess. I could talk about what I have been involved in. I guess I work here. I lead a confirmation group. I work at St. Andrew. I lead a confirmation group. That takes up most of my time.
Do you want to give a shout out to any of your confirmation kids in case they're listening?
Oh, all of them. I won't name names. But they know who they are. Shout out to all of them. They probably hate me, but it's okay. My favorite fall, definitely it's the leaves. I love watching a sunset with the leaves colors like changing. I was up in my cabin last weekend and the leaves were like just starting to change. And I'm going up again this weekend and I'm really hoping that they're like top tier. Also, the Starbucks drink. Listen, I have a recommendation. I tried this the other day because I was thinking about it. I tried this last week and I was thinking about it and I was like, this sounds really good. My normal coffee order is an iced white chocolate mocha. Yep. But they normally have whipped cream on it, but I don't get the whipped cream because I'm lactose intolerant, and so I just get oat milk and whatnot. But then I was like, you know what would be good if you added pumpkin cream foam on top. Best thing I've had. It was so good. Yeah. Genuinely, I recommend you have to try it and get back to me because listen, it was so good. Anyway.
That's funny. That does sound good. Oh wait, you drink all caffeinated? Can you guys all have caffeine like that? How much caffeine is like in a mocha?
I drink a cup of coffee a day and that's it. I can't more. I can't do any less. This is a Red Bull infusion.
Oh.
See, I can't do an energy drink. I'm scared. I know. No, it's not. Oh, except one time. One time I had too much. Oh, I don't even know if I should be. Oh, it was so bad. Speech meet. It was so early in the morning. Chugged an Alani. Could not see. I had to drop out of the meet. It was so bad. See? I could not see. My eyes went, like, vision was gone. It was so bad. No, energy drinks are, like, my one thing that gets me through stats in first hour. Oh, real? Yeah. First hour stats is just brutal. That would be horrible. Yeah. I don't think I could do that. No. Yeah. I'm surprised.
Well, into our topics of the day, we have a couple topics, but first topic is on Rally Day, we went around and not only did you serve popcorn, you served smiles too, but you were asking people questions. We asked 3 questions.
Yeah.
How you, what was it? It's like, how do
gets you excited about coming to church? How do you share God's love and how do you feel God's love? Yeah.
So why don't each of you take one of those questions? So if I said, what gets you excited to go to church? Yeah, Lily, you got that one.
My thing that gets me excited about church, well, that was not words. I just mentioned that I work here, and that's, like, the biggest thing that gets me excited to go to church. I love working here and in the daycare. Shout out tweeners. I love the tweeners. I love working here. I've been working earlier in the morning, so I get here at, like, 7:45 on a couple days, and, I just love them. They make my day, and it makes it, like, it gets me in a good mood to see them, and after a hard day, I could just walk in and, like, all of my coworkers are so amazing, and then all the kids are just, like, happy, and most of the time. Sometimes they get a little iffy, but I just love them so much, and so that's, like, my biggest thing that gets me excited, and my confirmation group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shout out confirmation.
Shout out it.
What about, how do you feel God's love?
Um, okay, I think I feel God's love through, like, being in nature and, like, what Lily said before, like, the leaves and, like, the mission trip we went on this summer to Idaho. We were just surrounded by mountains, and you'd look up and, normally this is not something we'd see, and just, like, looking up and seeing all the, like, just God's creation and how it's so, like, bigger than you are, and it just, like, not puts it into perspective, but it just, like, I don't know, I feel God's love in the way he's worked even before, like, so far before us, and just being in nature, I really feel God's love.
Yeah. Yeah. And Logan, that is, how do you like to share God's love?
I feel like to me, my favorite way to share God's love is introduce people to the ways I feel God's love. So whenever I see someone who's feeling down, they're going through a hard time, I'll always like invite them into a prayer, or I'll
Yeah.
tell them some of my routines I do every night. I have a prayer journal. I'll read a Bible, like a couple verses of the Bible, and just doing that, trying to get people on the same path that I took, because I feel like if it helped me, there's a good chance it'll help them too. And also trying to this is one I do for a lot of my really close friends. I'll try to get them to things like Spirit in the Pines and to youth group,
Mhm.
to the places where I feel God's love the most, just introducing that to them and letting it be a home for them too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love those. And so we're talking a lot this whole month. We've kind of been doing some planning, talking, getting used to what it's like being on leadership team. But the big question is help. And before we even get into our suggestion box that we had on Sunday, I want you to ask, why do you think people are so bad about receiving help? When I myself, I'm guilty. While you guys think, I'll just share a little. Like, I'm guilty of always telling people, "Hey, things are going great. I'm having a good day." People go, "Hey, Caleb, how's it going?" I say, "Oh, good." That is my natural reaction, even when it's not going good. And so I just think of it myself. I'm not great at asking for help. And so, what do you guys think it is about people, adults, kids, anyone? What is it? So, why is it so hard asking for help?
I feel like you don't want to feel like a burden. You don't want to feel like, not only do you not want to feel like a burden, but you also don't want to feel like you owe people anything. That's because, unfortunately, like, that's something that is very common now. If someone does a good deed for you, they give you a ride to a place, they give you money for something, they take you on an experience, they're expecting something in return, when really it's a lot of the times, at least for people around this church and like part of our faith community, we just want to help, because that's what we know the right thing is to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good points. Anyone else want to add? Yeah, Kate.
I mean, like, a way that it's hard to, like, help yourself
Mm.
is, like, you're so like, sometimes you can just be so stuck in your own ways, and where it becomes like, okay, you're stuck in your ways so much where it gets to a point where, like, it's work to help yourself and to, like, change for the better. It's just, like, sometimes it can be so much work, it seems so intimidating that it's just, like, better to not help yourself than
Yeah.
go through the work, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Sometimes it's a little easier just to deny help, not change, get stuck in your own ways. That's very good. That's very insightful from both of you. Um, Here's the opposite flip on the question. When did you find it the easiest time in your life to ask for help? Because when we were talking to those kids in Shine, do you remember how quickly their hands shot up? I
Mhm.
said, like, "Oh, do you guys ask for help?" And all of them raised their hands, and they all had examples. They asked for help. What is it about kids that it's like, oh, I know how to ask for help. I know it like what it's like to be helped. They were very open about that. What do you think it is about kids? Well, you're the one that works the closest with kids that need the most help.
I think okay. I think the way that like I'm going straight to school because that's how I think of
Yeah.
this question. Like I just think that's when I ask for help the most. And so I think the way that school is like almost cultivated when you're younger is to get them to ask questions, is to get them to ask for help. And like when like obviously with like a 2-year-old, like they can't ask for help because they don't know how to talk. But they need help like learning to walk and learning to eat with a spoon or learning to drink out of like an open cup, like things like that. And just at the beginning, like even from then, they already have people who are helping them learn how to do that and learn how to be like, I need help. Or like almost one of the first like words that I feel like some of the kids know is help. Like that's just all they know. Like the amount of times someone has gotten stuck in one of those little cars and is like, help, help is too many to count. But so I think, yeah, I think that's just like the biggest thing. I think from what I remember from being in kindergarten or in first grade, like I think that was like the biggest thing is that we were told to ask questions. We were told to be like, well, why don't you ask like your table partner or whoever it was and or ask your teacher or ask like all of these things and I feel like I'm gonna sound really old when I say this, but now with like AI and everything, like I feel like it's just more wired to be like, well, I don't want to talk to somebody, so I'm just gonna ask AI. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
Google, or I'm just gonna be like, what's the answer, or something like that. And so when it comes to asking for help, it's just like it's honestly more scary because we were so used to it, but then it changed. There was this switch almost where it was like, well, you're responsible enough to figure it out on your own.
Mhm.
And so I think that's just like there was just a switch at some point
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a oh, you gonna say something, Logan?
I was gonna say, like, I think kind of adding on to that, it's this like the self-dependency of it when you're young, when you're still a kid, you're not taught that you can't ask for help. You're not taught that you're supposed to be able to do this stuff. Your parents will always tell you to come to them. Your teachers will always tell you to come to them. Everyone around you is like trying to encourage you to ask and learn and get as much help as you can. And as you start to get older and older, especially once you kind of hit high school, I feel like is where it really starts. Instead of being told, always come to me, it's like, okay, well, how can you figure this out? Because you're gonna need to know how to do this when you're older, when you can't instantly rely on a parent or a teacher for help. And I feel like that extends out into why it's so hard to ask for help because once you're older, you're more self-dependent and you find it harder to truly have those connections that you can actually trust to ask for help and know that they'll respond.
Yeah.
But when you're young, that's not something you think about. It's just something that you experience all the time.
Yeah. Very good points.
Yeah, just kind of like adding on to what Logan said. Um, when like I think I'm pretty good at like asking for help, mainly with just I have just like one friend I know how to talk to about it. But then sometimes it gets to a point where I'm asking her for help about this one thing, and then there's this other thing I have to ask her about, and then like well this just happened, and then I start to feel like almost guilty about asking her, and it's like I know I can talk to her, like it's about like building up relationships. Even though you feel like you might be a burden to some people, like it's about building up relationships where you feel like you can talk. But then like if it gets to a point where like it feels like one-sided, like you're always asking for help and it doesn't feel like the dynamic of a relationship where you should be able to lean on each other. So I don't know, but with the whole asking for help, it's something that just comes with a lot of like different challenges and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, things get more complex the older we get. They get a little more confusing, right? We're told certain things from society and other people and our parents, and also it's like then we have to look forward to what's way because, there's a lot of things kids do that they can't help us with, right? No way I can take care. But It's all of us finding the balance. And now we're on the opposite end of help. Just shuffling through a lot of our suggestion cards. A lot of the people in our congregation want us to connect and help out the elderly, those that are in senior living, anything like that. And you think about how opposite that is, right? We're used to kids being the one asking for help, and now we're like people are saying, "Well, you need to help the elderly."
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on? Have you ever thought about helping the elderly besides your grandparents or anything like that? What are your thoughts on like some of these suggestions? They want you to plan an activity in a game. What would be some of your ideas there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's something that, like, honestly, people can forget about sometimes.
Yeah.
Since communication can kind of be hard,
Mm.
sometimes it just, like, can be something that's, like, forgotten about, and then even if you do think about it, it's hard to find ways, like, to go about it if you don't really know. Like, yes, I wanna, like, help out this age group, but, like, if you don't know how to do it, you're kinda just stuck where you are. So I think opening up these things, like, starting these at church where a lot of people are aware a lot of things happen here. So starting stuff up, like, board game nights and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. What when you're thinking of like activities that you guys would run with the senior living home, senior living besides using Google? Well, Lily, you got an idea?
Puzzles.
Yes.
Ooh.
Puzzles, and
Mhm.
I love doing them. I just started one with my mom last weekend. Puzzles, that's my answer.
Puzzles, puzzles, puzzles.
Puzzles.
Anyone else? Anyone else have
Um,
ideas?
okay, I like the puzzles idea, but at the same time, boy, puzzles get me so mad. I get so frustrated. Like, I am one of the most impatient people ever. So I know I already said this, but board games, like,
Oh yeah.
board games are something that most people know the rules of. If not,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, board games are easy. Monopoly would not be a good idea. Monopoly also gets me mad. I'm like, I'm such a, like, I can't even. Um, but yeah, I feel like that's a good one where you can all sit down and still have, like, conversations and interactions.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Logan, any ideas? It's all right if you don't. I'm asking you because I don't have a clue.
I feel like, yeah, board games, card games, puzzles, like any of that where you can kind of just get that community going more because they're probably gonna. I'm sure some of them do this stuff with each other, but I doubt that there's nearly as big, like as much of a sense of community within like those type of spaces as there is at like a church or at school, and just getting all these being able to hear when you're playing board games, when you're playing card games, it's not always you're super focused on one thing. You're talking, you're interacting, you're learning, and
Mhm.
it gives a lot of time for conversation as well, where you'll learn some of the best things in like
Yeah.
learn.
Mhm.
When we were on that mission trip, there's one couple. What were the name of them? The first one we went to. Something. It was Gloria and something.
Gloria and Dale.
Dale and Gloria, yeah.
Yeah.
And we just were there doing work for them for a couple hours a day, and every single day we'd have a lunch where we'd have a Bible study with them, and they just had it's like some of the more insightful things like I've ever heard, and I didn't expect it, but it was very good conversation. I feel like just being able to interact any way you can interact with these people and
Yeah.
learn things that you might not know and teach them things that they don't know is a success.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. And this conversation reminds me of something. My one of my grandmas that lives in Nebraska. She always says community needs every generation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Why do you? It sounds like you guys believe that's true. Why do you think that's true? If someone had said that community needs every generation, why would that be some true? Not just one generation.
Okay, I'm gonna start kind of far out, but I'm gonna bring it back in.
Okay.
So, when I was very little, my grandpa, he lived in a nursing home for a very long time. And some of my earliest memories are probably in the nursing home, visiting him and talking with him and um doing things with him. And I I'm sh- I don't really specifically remember this, but I'm sure that there were people like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Like their mom, like my mom would bring me and my sister like probably once a week. Like every weekend we would just go and we would bring I don't know what it's called, but it's like Play-Doh, but it's like the styrofoam Play-Doh.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what it's called either. I know, yeah.
But we would bring that, we would do that, we would do puzzles, we would do Play-Doh, we would do all these things, and we would always get Subway and, like, things like that. And I think okay, now I gotta bring this back. I think, like, every single community like, that was a community of people,
Yeah.
and they probably didn't see, like, 3-year-olds all the time. Like, I don't like, some of those people who were living there, like, I don't know what their relationship with their family had been after, being put in the nursing home or anything like that, and, um, I mean, I was just a 2-year-old running around the hallways, like, once a week, like, um, probably talking super loud and waking them up, but, like, it was a community of people who I think maybe just needed the joy of seeing someone or being reminded of someone, or I guess this is another time my nana had surgery and was in, like, a part-time nursing home, and
Yeah.
we went to visit her, and, like, she was so bored, and she was so sad but to be in there. But, I mean, we just talked for, like, 2 hours, just me and my mom and her, and, um, I think that aspect of the community, like, I'm not saying that, like, nursing homes are where people go to get, like, cooped up and they're just, like, stuck there, they're bored all the time, like, I know that's not the case for a lot of nursing homes, but, I mean, to just, like, be in a community where it's not something that you're used to is, like it's a different experience, but it's also one it's very eye-opening and, like, looking back on it, like, I had a ton of fun, obviously,
Yeah.
because I was 2, but, um, like, just kinda being there and, like, knowing that you made someone's day or you made someone happier to, like, just see somebody else that they hadn't seen or, like, see someone smiling and being with a loved one and, um, things like that, like, I really just I don't know where I went with that, but
I think you described it very well. I think you described it very well. Anyone else? Why do you think communities need?
Yeah, I think it brings, like, a sense of joy, like Lily said. I don't have a good story, but, um, and it just provides, like, a deeper connection, like, like, I don't know, me, like, being a teenager, sophomore in high school, I'm, like, wishing I was older and I had my life figured out, and I know from what people have told me, like, when you're older, you're wishing you were back as a teenager, like, it's just the it's just, like, the clashing, I don't even know, just ideas and just it can bring up such good conversation and help form really deep connections.
Huh. Yeah. Logan, anything to add? It's okay if you don't. No, everything's been
I
said.
guess, like, one little thing I would think is, like, kinda onto what Tate said. You wanna experience what you can't. That's just a natural thing for humans. So, like, if you have someone who's in a nursing home, they wanna, like, see that, like, be that, like, younger version of themselves having that fun, doing all that stuff, and you got some super youngs coming there, they wanna just hang out with, like, their grandparents or someone who else who's elderly and learn from them and get to experience what it's like being around these people, and you just kinda you almost exchange ideas and exchange personalities when you're around them, and it just leads to a really good sense of community, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing, a little bit of a different from our visit the elderly and set up things for the elderly is that a lot of people in here talk about the prop shop as well. Organizing clothing drives. We know we did that last year, but they're specifically doing, I think people are specifically asking for like winter drive again.
Mhm.
So what do you think it is about why do you think people in St. Andrews feel so connected to that prop shop? I know I have lots of people that love
Yeah.
the prop shop, man.
Well, I mean, it's in really close proximity to the church, I know that,
Yeah.
and, um, I mean, as long as I can remember, I remember, like, walking in for, like, the little kid choir and seeing signs like prop shop, and so I know we've had connections with the prop shop, and we've, like, worked with them and done drives and stuff for the longest time, so I think, like, over time, it's become something that we know a lot about, and we know they're a really good, like, community and a really good space where we can help out others, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna add on. I always remember during Christmas time,
Yep.
they do the Christmas, like,
Food.
I think it's like
the
toys.
toilet
It's like
paper.
gifts.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the gifts. Yeah.
And, oh my god, I loved that time because you would always walk in and they would have them right in the front in the I don't know what it's called.
Narthex.
There we go.
Narthex.
The narthex. That was bad. But they had the Christmas trees. And the first day it was always like the first time, so there's like no presents. But then by the end of like being there for the entire month, it just like filled. That whole area was just like
Yeah.
filled with gifts and things for people. And I mean, I think the other thing about it is it's not like it's obviously not something like super easy, but it's something that people can do that is small. And it's smaller, but it's a big impact. And like Prop Shop has a huge impact on communities today. And I think it really motivates people to be like, this is something like I could put in a Target order and pick up like 5 things. And it's like, and then I just bring it to church the next time I'm there. Like it's easy, but they understand that it's so important and it
Meaningful.
and meaningful, and it can really just like change someone's life and someone's lookout or outlook and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in the Bible, Christ talks about how we can take care of those who are vulnerable, take care of those that need the most help. Prop Shop does a great job of that. But why do you think, as Christians, it is our duty to do that? Why do you think Christ wants us to reach to the vulnerable for so often? I don't.
I mean, like throughout, like I don't want to like recall this wrong,
Yeah.
but like throughout the Bible, I mean, we've done a lot of digging into parables through our high school Bible study. Shout out high school Bible study. We can always use more people. But it was something we started up last year in January, or this year in January.
Yeah.
This year in January.
This year in January.
And like throughout that, we read parables about what is it? Parable of the lost or prodigal son.
Yeah.
Right.
Prodigal son.
Prodigal
Yeah.
son, and how it's these brothers, right? And then one of them is I really hope I'm saying this right. One
Go
of them
ahead.
like goes out and he's off doing whatnot, and then he is like an older brother that's doing the right thing. But then when this like lost brother who's off doing who knows what in some other town finally comes home, it's like this misbehaving like younger was it the younger brother?
I believe it's 2 brothers, but
Yeah.
we could go with younger brother. Yeah, that's fine.
Younger brother. He comes home and he's just welcomed, and then the brother that was there the whole time is like, guys, what's going on? I was here, I was behaving the whole time. Why is he getting the special treatment when he gets home? But it's just the thought of taking care of those who need it. And then if you happen to be the, I don't know, quote unquote older brother that's always there, you can use like the gifts you have of being the faithful, like I'm not saying that the quote unquote younger brother is unfaithful, but when he like returns, it's like the job of the people who have been there and been like helpful and caring to care for those who need it. So it's just like it's part of a community doing your job to help those who really need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just like seen in I'm sure other stories. Hopefully I told it right, but
I think you got it.
I think it's just something that's like something we should be doing as Christians, like looking out for those who need it.
Yeah.
And I think not only just it's what we should be doing, I think it's what we should want to do as well.
Yeah.
Because at least for me and a lot of like the people I know and talk to, it's a very rewarding thing when you actually get to help someone. You get to show them a better way. You get to bring them, especially relating to faith, when you are actually able to help someone and reinforce their faith or introduce them to the faith that they didn't know they had. That's one of the best feelings out there.
Yeah. I could. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm
Go ahead.
coming back. But I really like when you said how it's rewarding, like going on mission trips. I know all of us have gone on mission trips before, and just the feeling of making those connections and helping those people it's something you really makes a lasting impact on like you, on your heart, and how you're able to feel for things. And yeah, I highly recommend going out and helping, and just like talking about like how we help the elderly. Like, it can seem overwhelming and scary, like, what do you mean I'm supposed to go talk to people? What? Oh, but it's just like after you feel so like fulfilled, and it just really is a great thing. Yeah.
It brings a warmth.
Mhm.
We are almost running out of time, but we have a great last segment that we always do here at the podcast, and it is good advice.
Oh, I love this one.
Do you
Me.
what is some advice you have for the general public? If it's sassy advice, it's advice. Any advice that you have for the general public? And what?
Listen, I say this every single time. Listen, you gotta drive. You gotta drive better. People gotta drive better. I say this every single time. The amount of times, oh my god, 494 traffic is not for the weak at all. The amount of times that I have literally like screamed at people, it's so bad. I was literally talking to my friend about this earlier today, where I was on the phone with her while I was driving, and I was like, people always think like teenagers are such bad drivers, and I'm like, the people who are saying that drive like a teenager just learning how to drive. People need to drive better. It's really not that hard. You literally just steer the wheel back and forth. You use use your blinkers. Nobody uses their blinkers these days anymore. Like, what is going on? It's right there. It's literally right there. It's so easy. Right by the left hand. Pretty sure it's the left hand. Yep, it's the left hand. You push it up or you push it down. It's not like you're cranking a window open. Like, you just push the blinker. Like, it's really not that hard, people. Oh my god. Or the other thing, in the winter, wipe off your cars. Like, get the snow off of your cars. I will see people driving, snow is flying off the top of their car. Or, like, they have it all over their windshield. I'm like, I understand if you don't have, like a scraper or, like, a brush, but you have windshield wipers for a reason. You have the defrost on your car. You have the windshield wipers. Like, literally, sometimes when I don't have time, I just use the fluid, like the windshield wiper fluid, which I know is not good, but I do it anyway. But, like, it's really not that hard, people. It's so not hard. It's really not hard.
Even a credit card works, and people just don't seem to do it. I've been pulling out of the school parking lot before, and I've literally seen cars with like multiple people in it who are, by the way, not paying attention to the road. They're distracted. They're doing their makeup. They're eating. They're talking to friends. They're on their phones, and they literally don't have a spot out of their front windshield to see. It's completely covered in snow and sleet. It takes 3 minutes. It takes 3 minutes to do. You can literally just walk up and swipe your arm across, and there you got a spot to see now. And people don't even take the time to do that.
And you also can get pulled over for not having your windshield clear. Like, that's not safe. You need to see. Like, this is also my safety and your safety. Like, I don't want to be getting in a car accident. It's expensive. One of my friends just got a call from someone and was like, oh yeah, you owe them like $10,000 from like last year. They got in a car accident and they didn't have like insurance on their car or something. And the person is like calling back a year later. Like, why are you bringing? Also, why are you bringing that up a year later? Like, it's been a year, hon. Move on. You need to move on. But another thing, I go to I was in this parking lot earlier this week, and the way that this parking lot works, mind you, I am in this parking lot every single day, and I'm pretty sure this other person was also in this parking lot every single day. The way that it works is that some of the lanes go towards a building and some of them go away from the building. This girl backs out of her parking spot. I'm driving down the lane the right way, mind you. There are arrows every 20 feet on this thing. Every 20 feet in this parking lot. This girl backs out of her spot. Also, the parking spots are angled, so she had to work a lot harder to turn the wrong way in the parking spot. Backs up, comes straight at me, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, there was an arrow pointing the opposite direction, maybe 2 feet away from her car. She could have looked out the rear view mirror. Sorry, this is my advice every time. Drive better.
You want
That's good advice. Totally wasn't a rant or a venting. It was good advice. Anyone else? Good advice they have?
I got one, but last little bit of car ranting first. If you're going through an intersection, do not change lane. That is very odd. If you are going through an intersection, I could count maybe 10 times in the past week alone where I've almost been hit because I've been going through an intersection completely legally, fully green. Someone's in the right lane. They realize, oh wait, I'm not turning this lane. I'm turning the next lane, and they just go forward and they just swerve right across with it. They don't signal. They don't do anything, and then they end up 3 lanes over. It's just drive normally.
Or, oh my God, sorry. People, when they do the high beams, when they flash their high beams at a red light, like, hon, what is that gonna do? We're at the Highway 5 intersection. You just need to wait. Like, it's sensed that you're there. It can see you. You don't need to be flashing your high beams when it's literally gonna turn in 2 seconds. Like, be patient. Like, where are you trying to be? That's so important. Like, slow down, people. Anyway. Okay, we need to be done. That's just gonna keep going.
That's great advice. Logan, you said you had advice?
Coming back to, I think the car ranting made me forget.
Did you have advice? Advice? Some good advice you've heard, Lisa?
I have anything super deep.
It's all right.
Just got 20 minutes ranting about car driving. You can do
I know this was a really deep conversation. Thanks. Be nice. If someone is having a problem in their life, it's not your business. So stop acting like it's your business. Seriously, if people have something going on in their life, just sorry, shut up. Shut up. Seriously. Like, people just need to leave each other alone. Be nice. That's it. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that is good advice. That is good advice. Yeah. Logan, any good advice you've heard or would like to pass on?
I think I got one. Just, we live on such a beautiful planet. Why are you ruining it? Don't litter. Don't use all this excess energy. Just be a clean person. Be a clean person whenever you go somewhere. We're not inside your bedroom. We're not inside your house. You don't need to be throwing your trash all over and leaving all this stuff. We're going on a camping trip in a few days, and apparently it almost got so bad up there that they had to shut down the campgrounds for a deep clean because no one will pick up after themselves. It's like rule number 1. You should be taught this when you're like 6, 7, 8 years old. 8 years old. That was a mistake. No, but just clean up after yourselves. Protect our beautiful planet.
Yeah. Protect God's beautiful creation.
Well, we are all part of that creation. Well, thank you guys. This was a great first podcast. I'm excited for more podcasts to be coming. What did you have?
Who's our sponsor?
Oh, shout out to our sponsor, Thrivent.
Shout out Thrivent.
Thrivent, not Thrivent Financial.
No.
Just Thrivent. Shout out Thrivent for sponsoring this podcast.
Live generously.
Live generously. We also want to shout out our other we have another sponsor. It's called Church Chairs.
There we go.
Remember?
Tell us about this.
Yeah, Church Chairs. Their slogan is remember to sit in them. You know, the closer to the front, the better. Thank you and welcome and thank you.
How interesting.
Church chairs.
The church chairs.
We love church chairs. We love Thrivent. We love St. Andrew. Thank you very much for a great first podcast. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening.